If you open the model, you'll see that there's several columns. Each column means something. We'll go through the columns right now. Once we go through the columns, you should be able to read the model pretty effectively. Here we're going to go with the standard stuff here. Here's time. Just tells you what day and what time. I believe this is Eastern time that the game is going to be tipping off. Here's the rotation number, ROT. That tells you how to find this on your local sports book. Usually most sports books have the same rotation numbers for all these games, so just makes it easier for you to find, especially on a Saturday where there may be up to 150 games. Having the rotation number can be beneficial. This RK means how the teams are ranked in our model. So you see Northern Colorado is the 217th ranked team. Montana is the 154th ranked team. The team is obvious. It just tells you what the visiting team is, what the home team is. Game quality is kind of a unique one. Game quality simply takes the ranking of the two teams and how high the teams are ranked, but also how closely they're ranked together. So everything at Clear Data Sports is on a 100-point scale, 100 being average. In this case, the game quality for more than 100 would be above average, less than 100 would be below average. So this Northern Colorado and Montana game would be an 89, meaning that's 11% below average game quality. And so the reason for that is because both of these teams are ranked in the bottom half of college basketball according to our model. And the teams aren't necessarily ranked all that close together. And those two things make for a poorer game quality rating. If we go down to maybe a higher game quality, we go to a Big Ten game here. Maryland is ranked 47th. Indiana is ranked 28th. And it looks like they are at a 145, which is 45 percentage points or 45% higher than an average game, higher quality than an average game. Here we go to the next column. This is TMP, and this is one of my favorite columns. This is the tempo column. This tells us how many more possessions or fewer possessions each game is projected to have by their game tempo. Now, it doesn't give us a number of possessions. What it does, again, everything is rated on a 100-point scale. So in this case, if we look at Northern Colorado and Montana, they're at a 93, meaning that they're 7% below average tempo. So you would expect them to be 7% slower than an average tempo of an average game. If we go over here to Monmouth and Siena, we have a 105. So we expect that this game will be 5% above average in terms of tempo, in terms of their pace of play compared to an average game. For these two columns kind of go hand in hand. This is offense 100 and defense 100. For the offense column, more than 100 is above average, less than 100 is below average. So we see Northern Colorado is at a 92. We have them rated offensively as 8% below average. And Montana at a 93. We have them rated at 7% below average. If we go over here to West Virginia, for example, they're rated at a 113. That means we have them 13% above average offensively than a normal, 13% above average. So they're generating points 13% better than an average team is what we have them rated. For the defensive column, it's slightly different. All our defensive statistics are the reverse. So the lower number is better. The lower number is above average. The higher number is below average. So if you're below 100, that means you're an above average defense. If you're above 100, that means you're a below average defense. If we look at Colorado, Northern Colorado, they're at a 97, means we have them rated 3% better than average defense. And Montana, they're at a 93, that means we have them rated 7% better than average defense. That means 7% better at suppressing points than an average defense. If we go over to Monmouth again, we have them at 110, that means they're 10% worse than an average team at suppressing points. This next column is the free throw column. This is out of all of the distribution of points, this is how many points are distributed to free throws for any particular team. This does not mean that the team, this does not measure how well the team shoots free throws. This simply measures the distribution of their points across free throws, 2-pointers, and 3-pointers. This measures how much of those points, the distribution of those points that come from free throws. So here for Northern Colorado, we have them at 113, meaning their points are distributed 13% more to free throws than an average team. Here for Montana, we have them at 138. That means that they're 38% more likely than an average team to have their points distributed to free throws. Here, if we go to Indiana, we see that for Indiana, their point distribution does not generally come from the free throw line. They are, 39% less distribution towards free throws than an average team. 2-pointers and 3-pointers work the exact same way. So for example, Northern Colorado, if we see here, they have an 88, meaning they are 12% below an average team in terms of having their point distribution come from 2-pointers. If we look at Montana, they're at 128. That means that they're 28% above an average team at having their point distribution come from 2-pointers. And if we look at Montana here, it doesn't seem like they get many of their points from 3 at all. This is a really low number, one of the lowest I've seen here. And this shows that they are 66% below an average team distribution from 3. So if you take all their points, their distribution, them getting points from 3-pointers is 66% lower than an average team. And so if you're looking at a game like this and you're trying to handicap, you can say, okay, well, they don't get many of their points from 3. They get quite a bit of their points from the free throw line and from 2-point field goals. And you can use that information however you'd like in terms of your own handicapping. Now we're going to go over to the score category. This is very simple actually. It's just what we project the score to be. We project that Northern Colorado is going to get 62.6 and Montana will get 73.4 just based on all of the inputs that we use. We'll move over to the rest of the data sheet here. This V total, this means what Vegas is pricing this game at. So basically this is the market. Here we see that this game is listed at 130.5 and this is EES. This is what we have the total at. We have the total at 136, and so we project the total quite a bit higher than the market total. That's a difference of 5.5 points, and we project a percent difference because obviously not all points are worth the exact same. You have to calculate what the percent difference is in the points, and for a 5.5 point difference for a game that's fairly below average listed at scoring, the percentage is going to be a little bit higher. And this is what we call a black box model. So anytime this number hits 4%, it's going to trigger a play. And the play is going to be located right here. This is the pick, the total. It triggered a play of over 130.5, and we include a recommended number of units. This is set at 0.5 for the entire year. So that may or may not change, but that is changed manually by us. It is not based on the percent difference. We just set the unit value as 0.5, so each of these will trigger a half unit play. So that's for totals. For the lines, here we have what the Vegas line is. They have Monmouth at a 5.5 point favorite. This is our column, EES. We have them at a 10.7 point favorite. So again, this is triggering a difference of 5.2, and it does actually trigger a side play of Monmouth minus 5.5, and again, all the units are just set at 0.5. If a play gets triggered, it's going to be a 0.5 unit play. And you'll see here in these columns, there is no play triggered because it doesn't meet the threshold that we set previously for the model. It doesn't mean that you can't go into these data sheets and use them for your own handicapping and pick a game by using numbers from these data sheets. I do that quite frequently. I tend to look for my own metrics in these data sheets, and I look at what the market is doing, and then I oftentimes make plays that are not triggered by the model. And so I encourage you to do the same. Use these data sheets for your own purposes. If you have a question about what something means in the data sheet, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email us at pony@expectededgesports.com. You can go to the website and fill out your contact form, or you can simply just send me an email. My email is located on the site as well. I hope this was informative, and we hope to be seeing you around soon. Take care.